Okay, when you think of Hong Kong, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most of us, it's this incredible, dense, glittering concrete jungle, right? One of the most packed places on the entire planet. But what if I told you that this city, of all places, is diving headfirst into one of the most ambitious green transformations we've ever seen? And that really brings us to the core question of this whole thing. I mean, can a place that is literally defined by its density, by its skyscrapers, actually go carbon neutral? Can a symbol of 20th century urban sprawl become, a blueprint for 21st century green living? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into. So, it all starts with this incredibly bold vision, achieving total carbon neutrality by the year 2050. Now, this isn't just some vague suggestion. We're talking about Hong Kong's official climate action plan. It's a serious declaration of intent. But, having a big goal is one thing. How on earth do you actually pull it off? Well, the answer lies in a surprisingly clear and focused strategy. It's a four-part plan for decarbonization. And here are the four core strategies that make up the entire blueprint. We've got net zero electricity, green buildings, green transport, and waste reduction. See, these aren't just random ideas pulled out of a hat. They are laser-focused on the city's biggest culprits: its buildings, its transportation, where it gets its power, and what it does with its trash. So let's break these down one by one, starting with maybe the most obvious one. Okay, first up, greening the vertical city. We're talking about those iconic skyscrapers. This is priority number one, and when you see the next number, you'll understand exactly why. 90%. Just let that sink in for a second. That's not a typo. A staggering 90% of all the electricity used in Hong Kong goes into its buildings. I mean, that one single statistic tells you the whole story. If you're going to win the fight for carbon neutrality here, it's going to be won or lost right inside these buildings. So, how do you even begin to tackle a 90% problem? Well, you do it with some seriously aggressive targets. The plan is to slash electricity use across the board. We're talking a 40% cut for commercial buildings, 30% for residential, and 35% for government buildings by 2050. And look, this is way beyond just switching to LED light bulbs. This is about a fundamental rewrite of how this vertical city functions. Now, you might be thinking, sure, that sounds great on paper, but is it even possible? And the answer is yes. You just have to look at the Zero Carbon Park. This place is incredible. It's a real-world case study that proves this stuff works. It actually generates more renewable energy than it uses. It's a net positive building, right in the middle of a super dense city. It's basically a living, breathing example that this whole vision isn't just a pipe dream. All right, so we've looked up at the skyscrapers. Now let's look down at the streets. Because, getting millions of people moving around every single day, that's the next massive piece of this puzzle. It's all about sustainable transport. And their strategy for transport is really smart and multi-pronged. First, they're leaning into what already works incredibly well, their rail system. The MTR is the city's lifeline, already carrying something like 90% of all commuter trips. So rule one is make the best thing even better. Then, for everything else on wheels, the plan is to go electric. They're stopping all new registrations of gas-powered cars by 2035. And they're not stopping there. They're even testing out electric and hydrogen buses for the public fleet. It's a total overhaul. Okay, but here's the thing. You can have all the green buildings and electric cars in the world, but they're only as clean as the power grid they plug into, right? And that brings us to what is arguably the biggest challenge of all: completely changing how they power the entire city. And just look at this shift. By 2035, which is not that far away, the city's energy mix is going to look completely different. The big headline here? Coal is gone, as in 0%. It's completely off the table. Instead, the grid is going to make this huge pivot to mostly zero-carbon energy sources, with natural gas acting as a sort of transitional fuel to get them there. And this is where things get really cool, because you start to see how these different strategies all connect and work together. Take a look at T-Park. This is a brilliant piece of engineering. It's a waste-to-energy plant that basically takes city sludge, burns it, and reduces the waste volume by 90%. But here's the genius part. The heat from that process generates electricity, enough to power the whole facility and thousands of extra homes. It's waste reduction and net zero electricity all wrapped up in one. So, we've got green buildings, electrified transport, a clean power grid, and super smart waste management. You put all those pieces together, and it all points in one direction. It's the final path to zero.
First, the goal for vehicles on the road by 2050. The number is simple and it's powerful. It's zero. No more tailpipe emissions. We're talking about a future with completely electrified private and commercial transport.
And that zero is a critical part of reaching this final number, the big one, 100%, the ultimate endgame, achieving total carbon neutrality across every single part of the city's economy, the whole shebang. So there you have it, the journey from a quintessential concrete jungle to potentially a global pioneer in green urban living. It is a wildly ambitious plan, no doubt about it. And it leaves us with a really big question to chew on. Is this just a one-off, or is what's happening in Hong Kong a genuine blueprint that other massive, dense megacities around the world could actually follow?